What's he doing?
Moistening your hair. I'm sorry. Yeah.
On that note, so as it's the final tour, how's everything going? What's it like? It must be emotional, right?
Not yet. Right? Because, I mean, we're still touring, and basically on tour you're living, or at least myself, you're living in the moment. You don't think about tomorrow. At least I think only about today and the coming 2 hours. People who are coming to the shows are fans, and you can see it really means a lot to them, and people are really having a good time. A bit more than usual, I would say. Okay. So that's really awesome.
So obviously, Textures have been going for 16 years, I think, is it now?
That's right.
So what would you say are kind of like some of your biggest highlights that you've had during the band and your careers?
It definitely is that we're still friends with all our previous members, and they still turn up at shows, and maybe some guys will show up at the very last show we are going to do. Well, you never know. It's an achievement for us as a group of friends. 16 years is quite a thing. We started out as a bunch of friends from a very small village in Holland, and we traveled around the world, and we've seen a lot. We grew as persons. I always said we grew as village people. To people who travel the world. This is great, like so many dreams came true. Like it was even hard to catch up with the dreams at one time.
You kind of mentioned this slightly in your answer, but what's Textures taught you guys?
That everything's possible. I was really a very, very shy guy before I entered Textures, and I put both of my worlds into the world. It feels like, with it's possible to have dreams, and with a lot of effort you can make them come true. Almost any of them. It's what I tell my students as well. Like being honest, being true to what you do, and hard work.
For me, it was a wonderful glimpse into the DIY world of bands, because Textures has been doing everything actually by itself. The design to the backdrops, artworks, everything has been done by band members. Mm-hmm. The recordings, the producing, everything. So it was amazing to see a band that can actually pull all of that 100% by itself. It's quite remarkable.
On the other sort of side of the spectrum, what do you think that Textures has done for the prog metal scene?
Well, no, not specifically for the prog metal scene, but it's so cool that in the beginning, when we started out with in 2003 or 4, we played this same kind of stuff that we do nowadays, like proggy, polyrhythmic, heavy, a lot of patterns, and people were just headbanging all around. I can remember that moment that we looked in the audience, and I saw a guy headbanging, like this, and his neighbor was doing a totally different pulse. Mm-hmm. And I saw the guy looking like, what the fuck are you headbanging to? Like nowadays when we, play a song, everybody's doing the same thing. Oh, that's great. And it's of course not only us, but bands like Tool, Dillinger, and this whole new movement of proggy bands. But it's so cool, like regular people, like my mom and dad, like my uncle, they know how it works. We put up a song and damn, yeah, they go like, oh yeah. 15 years ago it was like, what the fuck? Can I dance to this?
So if you could kind of go back into the past to change one thing, what would it be? This applies to both of you, by the way. I know that you've been in the band for a shorter time, but still.
Yeah, business-wise, I would say that we released 3 albums on Listenable Records. They did a great job. Our first 3 albums, Polars, Drawing Circles and Silhouettes. With Silhouettes, we had our major leap, actually, and I think it would be better to maybe that record to already put that out on Nuclear Blast. It would be on a higher profile for us. I don't know. It was a great trip.
What's next?
Chilling out. watching movies. No. I have my music school in the center of Holland, and I'd like to be. Well, I'm the entrepreneur there, and I want to raise that on a higher platform. So, yeah, that. You know, a lot of people ask me like, oh yeah, now you're going to do that next project, right? Really big and a lot of money, a lot of people, you know, big crowds. No, you know, this is really the best there is, with a group of friends, you know, from zero to where we are right now. Well, for me personally, I'll never top that. Well, maybe I get a phone call to play drums somewhere else would be nice, maybe, you know, or maybe nothing. I don't know. I see this as a big, huge life story told.
Over a year ago, I started writing new materials with a bunch of friends, and I cannot really say a lot about it because, I mean, nothing is too concrete. But, you know, I'm basically do what I do. I'm just gonna be in a band, play guitar. That's it.
But this guy, you know, like, I think you can do various stuff. You know, like you can, you know, play an arch enemy or play in like you know, a session musician, like he can do loads of stuff. You know, like
I know, but I rather just perform metal music. I mean, and be on the road and record, and I mean, that's what I like to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been emotional, and thank you so much for having a chat.
No, don't start with that.
The waterworks will come out. Huh? Thank you so much, man.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.